why do you think Right Along the first one was was such a big smash hit?
I think there were a bunch of reasons why it was, but one, I think it was the heart of the movie, which is this great, cool couple who like really loves each other for everything they are. You're like, what does she see in him? That's what always people ask me. People always ask me that question, and it's like, she sees his confidence, his heart, his all his weird craziness. It's like a great little package, you know what I mean? Energy, and she loves everything about him. And they both love each other no matter what. And then I think all the action and the chemistry between Cube and Kevin, I think everybody loved that, and it worked. So I think everything just worked. It was like a pot of gumbo, It just worked.
So, does this second one, does it continue where the first one left off?
Yeah, we ended with, on the first one, Kevin almost killing Cube and me getting engaged. So we pick up where I'm about to get married and he's being a groomzilla. And basically I'm like, go, what do you need, honey? And I'm trying to make his dreams come true while I'm trying to make our dreams come true. So he goes off and tries to do some detective work, and then while I'm trying to plan, that's where we pick up.
Now there's a lot of comedy over the wedding arrangements.
Oh my goodness, there is, and I think that's another genius part. I think Sherry Shepherd, who plays my wedding planner, did a great job. It's okay, it happens. It happens to me, my mom in church all the time. Phones. Anyway, it's okay. So yeah, Sherry Shepherd does a great job with going back and forth, the bantering. I think we all have chemistry, the banter, and I think that's a great thing that Kevin Hart brings. He elevates everybody with his energy, He's a big ball of magic that we all get to be a part of.
Well, where do you think his energy comes from?
It's just who he is, He's just a genuinely good person who just has a ton of energy. That's his personality. He's always on. He always has the next slick thing to say to you. That's just Kevin. Literally, people are like, does he turn on? Does he turn off? And I'm like, no, that's Kevin. I mean, of course he gets tired, but Kevin always has something to say. So comebacks are very hard.
So what was it like shooting in Miami?
Well, they shot most of it in Miami, but my part was shot in Atlanta where we live. And so, unfortunately, I didn't get to shoot here, but we're here now, and I get to see all the great things that they got to do. And I was like, if we get to do a Ride Along 3, hopefully I get to come be a part of this if it's here.
Cube the guy has been like a huge talent since the 80s, and he just keeps going and going. Like, knowing him,
yeah.
where does it come from? How does he stay even keel?
I'm trying to find that out too. I'm like, I want to be around for decades, and I just think he somehow found a way to transcend just doing music. He found a way how to do these films that people love, and not only just one. It's usually like 1, 2, 3. Barbershop 1, 2, 3. Ride Along. I mean, he just keeps going. I think he has a great story where he comes from, and I think he just has the pulse he has his hand on the pulse of what people love. And he's just a good guy, and he deserves it. He really deserves it. He's smart. If you saw Straight Outta Compton and you saw his son play him, you're like, I didn't even know some of that stuff. And I went up to him, I'm like, you were so smart. And that was from the beginning. And I would say that's due to his parents, maybe his how he was raised.
Now you started off in modeling, right?
I did. I don't know if you would call it modeling.
What would you call it?
I would call it trying to get a check to survive. I mean, when I think of model, I think of like Naomi Campbell. I was doing like Route 69 Kmart. The pictures that you see in there, which is great. I mean, that is modeling, but I'm like, I guess, when you're doing that stuff in New York, you're basically trying to pursue the acting, but these jobs come along, you're like, I'll take it. You're glad you're working, right? So, but acting has always been my first love.
What was your first lucky break?
My first what?
Lucky break. in
My
acting?
real lucky break in acting, I started off in this soap opera called One Life to Live, and I had my first 4-year contract, and I was like, holy cow. And literally, I quit my job the day before because I was so miserable. I was crying, and I walked out. I was like, I was gonna have a nervous breakdown. Literally the next day, my agent's like, so you just booked a contract role in One Life to Live, and I just remember that joy, you know, and I always try to remember that whenever I complain. You know what I mean?
But acting on a soap is very different than acting in a movie.
Oh my gosh, it's so different. You have to do basically a whole script in one day. So you do all of Ride Along in one day. So it's completely different, but it set me up to know that I have to work really hard. I have to know my lines. I have to get in character. I have to just be prepared. It prepared me for now.
And you played Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did you get to talk to her?
I didn't get to talk to her, but it was, you know, I play her in her 20s when she first met Barack Obama, and so it's the first date movie, you know, it's when they first met, read a lot of books, especially the book her brother wrote, and I didn't want to imitate her. I wanted to see where she was when she was younger, you know, from him, you know, how they grew up, things like that. So hopefully I do it justice, but it's just a sweet, loving love story, you know.
When you did your research about her, I mean, to me, I've heard Michelle Obama talk on C-SPAN, and she's an amazing woman.
And that's what's intimidating, because you want to sound smart, you want to be smart, but she also you know, there were times where she felt overwhelmed with intimidation about certain things. When it was people who told her that she couldn't do things, she couldn't get into Yale, she couldn't get into her magnet school that she got into. So I took the things that I was intimidated by and injected that and said, you know what? She had these same feelings at one point. So I tried to use that within the character.
Where do you want to take this?
Well, it's in Sundance, and I'm excited. I mean, John Legend just signed on to be a producer and do music, so people are really loving the film. So hopefully, it's well received in Sundance.